lead.
We'll have to see if Newbee can change anything coming into game number 3 here against Invictus Gaming, because we are into Champion Select for the final game of tonight. And right away, once again, LeBlanc and Azir are going to be banned away. This time, though, IG, they take away Rise and Nidalee.
So Nidalee are a spec ban given to Kid. Go back 7 months and tell people that, Fish. I dare ya.
Probably the most bans we'd see between these two junglers would be Graves, because both the AD carries moving in towards the jungle role. Picked that up quite a lot during the early parts of the season. As Trundle and Echo are going to be the two bans coming out from both these teams to round it out. So no more heavy mid lane, heavy top lane focus. They're a little bit spread out this time around. Still very mid and heavy top focus. This time throwing a jungler ban as a spanner in the works. And Kindred looks like the hover coming for Newbee should be the pickup for Swift one more time here.
Yeah, he's been playing pretty well in the Kindred, so wouldn't be surprised to see if that is picked up. And you know, it just suits their team composition style. They want to be able to team fight. Kindred is certainly unrivaled in that aspect of the game right now, with the ultimate, the utility that she adds, as well as the damage that we saw Swift pumping out. I would be really surprised if another team goes towards a Maokai. I mean, Maokai's team playing both games tonight, both losses, and it just seems that the laning phase, unless IG want to go towards a lane swap, is very hard to execute on for Maokai in the current patch.
Both times picked up during, 3 times now picked up during the second rotation. And the first time during this best of 3 series, we will see a Victor being played. This time left off of the ban list, and that should be going on towards Rookie in the mid lane.
Yeah, Victor has got incredible strength right now. See whether Dade wants to take the Cassidy into the matchup again. It's what seems to be popular right now, at least in his books. The reason I still think Maokai is the best top laner in the game. Do not get me wrong. I just think that the way that these teams are playing extended laning phases doesn't really suit Maokai. What you want to be able to do is open up the map early through lane swaps, get your deep wards in there and look for the flanks. That's where Maokai really shines in the current meta. However, what we've seen time and time again is these 20-minute laning phases where he just gets tied down, stuck in one lane, and then pretty much out-farmed. So I think that is just an area that you have to take note in. And once again, because Maokai is picked up, the other team has to take away the Sivir. This time it's Newbee.
Just that. Sivir's going to be picked up by Newbee, as well as the Bard pickup coming in for Newbee as well. This time we have to see if he can, not make those Raptor camp mistakes that we saw Tabe do a couple of times in that game.
Yeah, Moore's Bard game was actually quite impressive, so I'm glad we're seeing that him picking up one more time. He's Karma, however, he got caught out a couple of times. Maybe now he has Magical Journey available, Fish. Not going to happen as much.
Tempered Fate helping him out a little bit too.
Yeah, just make yourself golden. Hope your team can catch up.
Good old Bardo. Meanwhile, we're waiting for IG to pick up their next 2 picks here. Let's see what they decide to complement their top laner and mid laner. Could definitely be a jungle pickup and an AD carry pickup coming in from this team. Still a lot of strong options in both those positions. Lucian being left open, Ezreal left up and available as well. We'll have to see what decides to lock in for IG.
So, they just swap bottom lanes. Sivir Bard goes across, and it is going to be Lucian Karma locked in. As we said, as soon as you go Sivir, you kind of unlock the ability for both teams to play that mid-range AD carry. Lucian Karma should be a lane that's able to bully. We saw that maybe Happy and Moore didn't do as much as they needed to win it on their side last time around. We'll see whether Rain and Tabe are able to take it to the Sivir Bard this game.
We'll have to see what Newbee decide to pick up to round out their team composition here. They've already got their jungler and bottom lane picked up. So once again, blue side saving their solo lane picks as their last 2 pickups. They already know what they're going up against. Question is now what they're going to choose to throw up against Invictus Gaming. We saw the Fiora being picked up by IG last game to go against the Maokai. You did mention Cassidy being a very popular pick coming in for Dane up against the Victor. Have to see what they decide to throw into this lineup. Does look like it's going to be Cassidy and Swain being picked up by Newbee.
And once again, a lane bully against Maokai. So this should be a really tough lane matchup to go into if you are Zatai, because unless there is an outright kill jungler here, Swain is just going to play the War of Attrition incredibly well and be able to pump out damage as well as crowd control.
This also means that IG, they're going to be able to pick up Rek'Sai as their final pick and throw him into the jungle for Kid. One of the junglers that we've seen return to popularity since the buffs to Cinderhulk. And also just be coming back in competitive play. It's one of those few S-tier junglers that we see, with the likes of Kindred and Nidalee being picked up, as well as Graves.
Yeah, I just think that, you know, I actually rate Rek'Sai, on kind of Nidalee, Kindred, in my opinion, two best junglers. Rek'Sai, Graves kind of sit under there. I think that Rek'Sai is kind of taking Graves' position as like that bruiser that can do some damage since the Cinderhog buffs. Also just jungles incredibly quickly right now and his resources. You can do cool things like give over first blue buff to someone like Rookie and be able to help him out in the lane there. So I like Rek'Sai at the moment, and her global presence also helps out as the game progresses.
And we're going to see V play Swain up in the top lane one more time for Newbee. He did play it in his series against EDG in the first match, actually. Another champion that's been surprisingly being played in competitive play now.
Yeah, we completely overhauled Swain. Has wave clear now that always used to lack, and just a lot of damage.
Well, we have to see how V does in the last game of tonight as we head on to Summoner's Rift. And we are on to Summoner's Rift for the last and final time tonight between Newbee and Invictus Gaming. The best of 3 series is currently tied up 1-1 after IG were able to pick their way to a victory in the second match here. And now we're going to have to see if they can do the exact same thing here again in game number 3. For now, both teams just fanning out, trying to spot out as much vision as possible. There's already slight lead going to Newbee. They clear out a ward. They get a gold advantage. Good job. They're ahead.
Did they, though? Because I didn't see how many procs went across. They got a second ward. Now I'm going to assume that they are. But, you know, it depends how many...
Meep Slap gives them another 8 gold. So,
Yeah.
you know, they're ahead for a significant amount of this game, about a minute and a half.
But you didn't see how many Tave got off, mate. That's what I'm trying to say. Take a look at the masteries on your screen. You know, nothing really new there.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to be interesting because Swain is really... needs to be in a standard lane, in my opinion. Doesn't really double jungle all that quickly. And you can see that they're looking to potentially put their duo towards the mid lane, start a double jungle, although they send them back down. Okay, this is something that Crepo taught me. So shout out to Crepo, EULCS. As Bard, your job isn't to take a camp level 1. It's actually to deny their camp. The reason being is that Bard is the strongest level 1 champion in the game. So the longer you can keep them level 1, the better off you are.
He's going to be able to take away the Grump as well and force the flash coming from Tabe over the wall. So exactly that spot.
So as wise man Crepo told me, you know, you invade pretty much 100% of the time. As Bard, you put down a lot of pressure because what you want to do is ensure that they have to spend the whole of the lane at level 1, get bullied around by the Q and the meat slap where he's just unrivaled in terms of damage. So glad to see that Moore subscribes to a similar train of thought there.
Not only do they deny the level 1 camp from him, they get the summoner spell as well, and they steal it away, which means they're going to have the EXP advantage in this bottom lane for Newbee right off the bat. That's going to be devastating for IG running back into this lane.
Yeah, it certainly should be. Dade getting pushed in early against Rookie.
Taking a lot of damage from the range control mage at the moment. It's 3 CS to 10 here. Not looking like it's going to get any better for Dade anytime soon.
And he keeps doing this. He keeps taking melee assassins into ranged mages. And we know that this is actually where Rookie is the most comfortable. I mean, when ranged... If he had Thunderlords, he's dead. Like, I hope he knows that and that he respects it and he goes back because there's no way he can stick around anymore.
He's going to lose a lot of minutes for this. Has to use this teleport immediately. He's already 10 CS down against this Victor here.
He's not going to go back. Oh, he actually just stuck around for the cannon. Okay, cool. So he wanted cannon experience. That actually makes a little bit of sense to me. He'll go back. Oh, actually cancels one more time. This is not good. So you shouldn't flirt with going back like that. You should just either bite the bullet and go back and call in jungle gank straight away afterwards as the lane is kicking back. But means that Swift is going to be able to successfully invade onto the Rek'Sai.
There are wards on this, so Kid doesn't know that this is happening. The Meat Slap's going to come in. Smite's going to come out from Swift. He's able to take that one away.
So 15 CS advantage in the mid lane. Huge story right now.
Big lead coming from Rookie down in that mid lane. Kind of evens it out after the happenings of the bottom lane here. Sivir slightly ahead, about 10 CS up ahead of that Lucian.
But that depends where the lane is, right? Because we know that this lane is pushing in, and there's 2 CS available. So it's going to be 11 to 28. So he's 17 CS down. As you can see right now, it's actually below 10 because the Lucian's actually has a lot of CS being pushed into him. So that is a huge advantage for Invictus.
So you take a look at the top lane for the first time in this matchup. Swain against the Maokai. Both of them starting with the Doran's Wing. In fact, Zatai went back to base, picked up a second one for himself, opting not to teleport back in towards that lane. Instead, going to walk the long way down.
Yeah, and actually gets frozen off a lot of creeps because of it. This kid's chilling out on top of a ward.
Rookie doing a really good job here of manipulating that creep wave, forcing Dade to go into a very dangerous territory to farm out. He did spot out the Rek'Sai looking for a gank in the mid lane, but it's about how much minions the Victor can deny before he hits level 6 here on the Kassadin. It's about picking up 1 for every 2 CS that the Victor picks up. That's a massive amount of zoning pressure that Rookie's been able to put out this game so far.
Yeah, certainly is, and he took the kill summoner as well, so, you know, still has Ignite available. Dade has a slight experience lead because he hasn't been forced out of experience range. He's just getting absolutely no gold for it. And now they call in the support. Moore going to look to make a splash in the mid lane. No, he just backs away.
There was that Thunderlord's proc coming out from Rookie as well, able to put some more damage down on towards this Kassadin, but very quiet early game between these two teams. As expected, we've seen this all 3 games so far. You know, both teams respecting each other a lot. They know the strengths and weaknesses of one another. Try to find the correct avenues of attack. The gold is completely even. 7.5 thousand gold each. No turrets, no dragons just yet either. Just been bullying lanes, you know, in the mid lane in favor of IG, a bully lane to bottom lane in favor of Newbee so far.
Yeah, and top lane's actually pretty far in favor of Newbee as well. Zatai is about to get chunked out a second time. So, see whether he's able to stick with this lane. Dade's in trouble.
Certainly is.
He's getting absolutely smashed right now.
He's getting manhandled by this Victor so far.
And the problem is that without level 6, there's not even a reliable gank that can come in. He's going to have to go back, potentially, and miss out on even more experience and gold. And Kid just unrelenting and shadowing his mid laner. Rookie has level 6. He's just going to flash kill him. Like 100%, he's just going to flash underneath the turret and delete him.
Kid's going to try and get the wraparound here. He's going to try and go over the wall here. There comes the flash. There goes the ultimate coming in for the Victor. First blood does go over towards Rookie, but here's Kindred trying to find a return kill. Will be able to pick it up. He's not level 6 and can't use his ultimate, but it's not going to be enough to take him down. Good counter gank from Newbee, but IG, they trade 1 for 1.
Yeah, they go 1 for 1, but in the end, that's actually a very poorly played dive because Rookie looked like he was impatient, doesn't wait for Kid to go over the wall, just goes for the solo kill. In the end, has to burn both summoner spells, and that actually leaves himself open slightly. I mean, that is, once again, still a horrible news story for IG right now. Their mid laner is down 26 CS and a kill. Like, there's not even comparing how strong they are, but if they can get the Kindred back into the lane and try and set up a gank, like, Dade is deader than fish right now, he's coughing a lot. It's just going to be a horrible news story.
Don't know if he's more dead than I am at the moment. But for now, definitely not great for Dade. All 3 games so far has been kind of similar. Rookie able to bully him out a little bit, find more picks for his team here and there. Dade not necessarily falling super far behind, but this game...
This game he is.
This game he definitely is.
Yeah, this game's a shellacking. He needs to be able to pick up that blue buff, start looking for some kill threat. Because otherwise there's just no way back into this lane. Bottom lane's still in favor of Newbee. Top lane's still in favor of Newbee, so it definitely isn't panic stations yet.
Happy was able to head back to base, picked up a BF sword for himself. On the flip side, Lucian was able to get the State of Dirk, and he's going to be able to go for that very popular build that we see Lucian's pick up at the moment. Going to get the Yoma's Ghostblade and the Black Cleaver as soon as possible. This time round, does have the Rek'Sai on his team, so a little bit more physical damage to capitalize on the Yoma's Ghostblade Black Cleaver pickup.
You're an optimistic man. Yep, technically true. Not gonna push my luck with that one because I know I'll get called out on it. But yes, technically Rek'Sai does do physical damage.
Yeah, very quiet game between these two teams. Most of the action taking place in the mid lane. Things are kind of settled down on that bottom lane. Although Newbee did get the early level 1 pressure, we're able to take down the Grump. We're able to put out a lot of pressure, force Tama to go back very early on. Rain's still keeping up in CS pretty well. It's about a minion wave behind Happy at the moment. That's about it.
Yeah, it certainly is. It's when you compare the 7 to the 27 that is the mid lane discrepancy right now. I would be inclined to agree that Rain has done a good job of keeping up, especially after first shop. A little bit of a greedy purchase out of Happy there. He goes for the cull instead of just battle stats that Rain has gone towards. And you can see that Kid is just shadowing this lane so incredibly hard right now. And has spotted out Swift. They go in.
They're going to try and jump onto Dade first, so he gets a lot of damage taken down. Lands the spike, going to be able to keep him alive. Rookie at a sliver of health, going to be able to take down Dade, but Swift picks up the recurred kill. But now Kid, he flashes forward, trying to swipe him left and right. Praise Seeker's going to be blocked out by the minions. As we do see more come up towards that lane, trying to help him out. Once again, a trade of mid laners.
Yeah, so what do you value more, a fed Kindred or a fed Victor? I know that my opinion is firmly Invictus' side of the court, but that is what they are continually trading for. I wonder if Dade burns a teleport and tries to get a cheeky extra minion wave on his side. No, he's just going to foot this one back with some brown bags. So, interesting trade one more time as Swift goes in for the kill.
I think something we haven't taken a look at too much in this game so far, what you mentioned of very early on, is the bully lane up top. Swain against Maokai. Kind of a similar story. He's about 30 CS up ahead of this Maokai at the moment. Kind of evens out the map a little bit.
All right, so this was one lane I have played. And let me tell you, mate, if you're the Maokai, it's
not fun.
Pretty shit house, to be honest. So, yeah, I'm not a fan of it personally. You kind of get destroyed at all stages of the game. Swain's damage just gets incredibly high still. I know that, with the Q, he added a lot of control to his kit, but his damage is still bonkers at the moment. So, yeah, definitely using the whole range of that kit. As Swift one more time looking to make a mark on this mid lane.
Going to try and take out
this is a 2v2 lane.
This is 2-on-2. These are two supports trying to help out their mid lane. It's a fact. Swift just jumping over the wall there. Here comes the Rift Walk on top with the Victor dealing a lot of damage. Swift jumping really aggressively forward against Kid there. He's going to try and take the Rek'Sai tunnels to safety.
What do I know? Apparently having a fed Kindred means more than having a fed Victor, because right now they're winning that 2v2 and even get the Ignite out of Rookie. I mean, he doesn't burn the ultimate, wants to save that for Dade, you see, but that's a summoner spell trade in favor of Newbee.
That's 3 games in a row Swift's been on this Kindred, and 3 games in a row we just see him jumping into dangerous territory like it doesn't bother him at all. That's just straight over the wall to 2 people, hoping that Dade will back him up there, and almost comes out on top, almost able to take down Kid. And this 2v2 is getting a little bit happening in the mid lane.
Yeah, it certainly is. So we said it was a quieter game, but not really working out that way. Gets a blasting one, gets back into the lane to soak up all of that experience in CS. So not going to lose out on too much. As you see, yep, he's spent more time mid than his own jungle. Not surprising at all. But they will look to grab themselves a dragon here. As you see, Rek'Sai is pathing a little bit less in the mid lane. Level 6 is available here. Teleport coming in.
I think that's the first
game.
Take
a Bard ult. That's a great Bard ult. Catches 2.
Catches them with a flash as well. They're going to try and continue this fight. Swain gets a nice stun down. Dade takes down Rookie. Kid is next. Dies to the birds of Swain. And Newbee pick up a great fight. Will be able to take down this Ocean Dragon.
They just weren't that far ahead. And worse yet, Rookie was So there was just nothing that he could do to turn around. Gets enough of his mana back to drop the ultimate. But in the end, that's a much-needed kill going over to the Kassadin. Swain picking up one as well. Nothing to scoff at. And walking through this choke, especially against Bard, is so terrifying. You see they both flash forward, layer the CC perfectly, and just so much damage coming out.
That Temper Fate was amazing coming in from Maul. They blew the flash, locked him down for the follow-up, and Newbee, they pick up a team fight. About 1,000 gold in their favor at the moment, and the Ocean Dragon. Next Dragon to spawn will be another Ocean Dragon, so could possibly stack those up.
And this is really cool for Swift because Ocean Dragon gives you a lot of regen, and Kindred's actually a surprisingly mana-hungry jungler when you want to like power farm out. So the ability to be able to regen between camps and then be able to gank and then get back mid lane before Kid can heal up as well is going to be quite big, I feel, in this game. I think that before 25 minutes, Ocean Dragon's actually my favorite. Air is the worst. by far. Like, that thing does nothing. But, you know,
makes you run cool.
It doesn't even do that until you have 3 of them. Like, honestly, visual effects aside, that Drake needs to be buffed. But, yeah, Ocean at the moment seems to do great things for junglers.
Have to see if they're able to pick up the second one on top of that. It's the first game in the last 2 best-of-3 series where we see an Ocean Dragon being spawned first. It was usually the Inferno or the Mountain Dragons being stacked up, so might not see as much prioritization towards the Dragons this game round. But for now, Newbee are content with their slight lead. That definitely helped Dane out a little bit. He's able to pick up Rod of Aegis. They're looking for the blue buff. Gets smited away. I believe that went over towards Swift. Was able to pick that one up for himself.
Did. So blue denied away from Victor. They're doing a lot of work, actually, to keep Dade in this lane. It's bouncing back in his favor, although it looks like he wants to continue to shove up a little bit.
He's catching up in CS. He's about 20 behind Rookie now.
Rookie still hits like a truck.
He's still Victor.
Yeah.
He hasn't gone anywhere. Meanwhile, top lane, V still, you know, farming out quite nicely there. Able to bully out the Maokai even more.
Yeah, it's
not having fun.
It's actually a bigger advantage right now for V than it is for Rookie, even though we're talking about the mid lane a lot.
I think this is something we touched on in game 1 and 2 as well. This is the second time round. V's got a nice matchup on Rookie. He's been caught up by the Temper Fate. Does get stunned up by Bardo as well. And Dane picks up the kill onto Rookie.
Rookie nearly kills the Bard in response, however, but, you know, Blue Steel coming out of Dade there, able to pick up another kill for himself. Now Rookie's fallen down 4 times. Good luck killing this person. You have no damage.
They're trying to
V
jump
is just going to meander his way out of this.
He's got full mana. He is not going to run out of birds anytime soon. He's trying to heal up. They're putting as much damage down as possible. It's just not working. Look at this. V fancy his chances now. He's turning around onto Tatai. Now he's run out of manas. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, action's taking place. Swift just dives the turrets, able to take down the Lucian. Here comes Dade. He's jumping straight on top of the Maokai. Puts a lot of damage down. But Kid, he's trying to stand his ground, trying to get some damage back on towards this Rek'Sai. Oh, towards the Cassidy, sorry. The 2v2 almost goes in favor of Kid, but V able just to live forever.
Yeah, as I said, this is not a fight you're looking for. You have no damage items built up against already Rod of Aegis Swain. And they are ticking away towards critical mass. It's a 3,000 gold lead actually now for Newbee. They've got Dade back within touching distance. And they're about to take bottom lane turret as well. Swift is a monster one more time.
Certainly is. And now
he fancies his chances.
3,000 gold ahead. Swift trying to jump forward against Rookie here. Going to be able to get the proc off of that final auto attack. Going to go down incredibly low. Does get taken out. Flash over the wall from Kid. And Scumbag King ruins the one-on-one.
No, but dangerous game there. Saved Rookie's life. He would have ticked away from the red buff and definitely would have died down. So Kid comes up clutch for his mid laner. Otherwise, probably would have lost that. In saying that, Swift goes back, buys a Hex Drinker and a Dagger, I believe. So it's maybe on a little bit too much damage to be taking that 1v1. And now looking for Tabe. Run, Tabe!
Run away from Dade as he gets the nice Thunderlord's proc down. Dade now opening up the map a little bit with his Rift Walks. Does have the Negatron Cloak picked up, looking towards Abyssal Scepter. Next, it seems, should be able to survive a little bit more against Rookie.
And they make the early rotation fish. This is the important thing, you know. As soon as there's a long lane, get Dade in there, get your Sivir mid lane. She's going to be able to wave clear. Stop playing Rookie's game of I'm the best laner in the world because you're not going to win probably. In fact, they've done a pretty damn good job of getting it back to this even. Because at one point it looked like it was going to be a 50 CS discrepancy. And that's what it is in the top lane. Just hats off to V. I maybe am criminally underrating V, but I just think that this should be a matchup that goes in Zataya's favor, especially if IG want to win this series. But V with the bully lane, definitely in his favor, but 50 CS, I don't know.
This is the second game, though, in this series. So V's been given the bully lane against Zatai. We saw what happened first game. Second game, he got the Fiora into the Maokai, and he was happy with that. Zatai just took off. But now he's just stuck one more time against V.
And as I said, that's why I was confused about the early Maokai pickup. I thought it would fall down because he is just counterable. He does fantastically in the latter stages of the game when teamfight really becomes the big focal point. But in the laning phase, and this is once again another 20-minute laning phase for a game, he's fallen behind 50 CS. Like, it's just always going to happen to Maokai. He no longer has the tools in the laning phase to be able to survive.
For now, Newbee very content with 4,000 gold in their lead. This was the lead that IG had in game number 2 which they were able to use to their advantage to get a nice win in that match, tying up the series. Dragon has now respawned, so second Ocean Dragon will be up and available. Newbee could possibly look towards taking that one. But it's not a Mountain or an Inferno. It's one that we've seen him fight over consistently. For now, Swift just trying to invade in towards Kid's red buff here. He put down the sweeper, trying to spot him out. Is able to jump aggressively forward, leads forward, gets the procs down onto Kid. Going to try and take away this red buff, see who gets the smite of it. It's going to go on towards Kid, I believe, able to take that one away, secures his own buff. And just go straight back to farming double golems. Swift trying to put pressure down, not working.
Yeah, he certainly is. He is quite far ahead in CS. I mean, he got some of the mid lane CS as well, so that's going to be in his favor. And you mentioned the Dragon coming back up. Swift definitely wants to have it. I mean, everything stacks up towards that Elder. And as I mentioned, like, Kindred loves to have the extra regeneration as she's running around in between her camp, so wouldn't be surprised to see him start this one up. Also, just doesn't hit you that hard.
Zitai still not having
Look how
much fun.
annoying this champion is.
Just puts the bird down and runs away.
I have serious questions for people that rework that guy. A patch where Swain is viable is not something I'm interested in, as you see the Infernal Drake going to be the next one up.
That's definitely something that Swift would love to take down next, giving him that extra little bit of damage. And also helping out with the Dragon, the Eternal Dragon coming up next. And later.
Look at, so V's going towards what will be a Spirit Visage and then probably a Zhonya's Hourglass. So when you look at the damage that is actually going to be chipping him down right now, it's going to be Rookie and Zitai. And then when he finally runs into Rain, he probably will have pretty much the Zhonya's completed nearly. So he's going to be untouchable for majority of this mid game.
We already saw that Kid and Zitai across the entire top lane couldn't take him down in an open-ended gank. Like, he just turned on his ultimate and ran towards his tower, almost killing Kid in response. So this is not a fun lane for Zitai at the moment. Kid's doing whatever he can, but I think after that first gank, he's just done. He doesn't want to go back up there anymore.
You're on your own, buddy.
Meanwhile,
and the danger is it gives you so much time to counter gank. I mean, you know, you can talk about it, but like if you chase someone the entire lane, that means that a teleport can come in behind you to a creep. You know, Kindred can appear out of nowhere.
We almost saw Dade do that.
Yeah, Dade just wandered up, actually. He just walked from mid lane towards top lane. So it's dangerous to continue to go for these ganks.
You see Swift's trying to set up a little bit of a dash brush inside of the mid lane. Looking to see if they can pick up
the
Rain.
Bard ultimate, I think.
Happy's going to show himself, continue this push. We've seen him do this quite a lot against IG. Just stays in the mid lane whenever he can, try to push that one out. Both the bottom lane duos are now here, looking to try and get some damage down towards the turrets. Once again in Newbee's favor. They're the ones chipping down as much as possible towards this stubborn turret. Swift now making his way up towards the top lane. Pink wards inside of the bush, one for each team. V's going to find one, be able to clear that one away. So unfortunately, we do have a couple of technical difficulties. See if we can get those resolved as soon as possible.
You can see on your screen there, big stretch coming out of the QG members. Swift making sure that he's nice and limber heading into the rest of the game. And Newbee have really cleaned up their early game this time around. I think that's important to note. Once again, we had a Maokai picked first rotation red side and taken into a 20-minute standard lane. And I really think that Maokai, if you go into lane swaps, if you open up the map, is just going to be able to do exactly what he wants to. You know, get the deep wards, get the flanks in. But right now, the fact that they're just sitting him in top lane, I mean, they're not even fighting for dragons or something like that. Dragons are coming off picks or just completely uncontested. The game plan isn't working, and both teams have fallen victim to it once. And one more time, IG opt into it. Sure, if it gets to a 40-minute game, Maokai back online. But right now, Swain is just so much more useful. He
really is the cursed tree, it feels. It's like, you know, pick Maokai, the top lane goes, oh, now I'm just going to have a bad time up in that lane. I'm not looking forward to this anymore. And that's just been the story of this best of 3 so far. But you did mention Newbee, they cleaned up the early game nicely. This is the first game IG not able to find any early picks. Even in the game 1 where they lost to Newbee, they were able to find 4 to 5 early picks before any teamfights took place for Newbee.
Yeah, and the problem was that they had 1 point of power, right? That mid lane, it was so huge. Rookie's up by about 30 CS. They're continually trying to bully. Then Swift got that cheeky return kill that should never have been there. That should have just been an outright 1v1 kill that Rookie was able to pick up with the Ignite. And from that stage onwards, it looked like the 2v2 was actually going in the favor of Newbee. Swift gets another kill. All of a sudden, he's big enough to start challenging around the map. Whereas Victor, he's a stationary target, right? He's going to shove out mid lane, or he can go to a side lane and shove that out. He's not really going to utilize the combat effectiveness, whereas Swift is just taken over. I mean, he's picking up Drakes, he's invading bottom side jungle time and time again. And that was flanked by 2 winning lanes. I mean, Sivir Bard is winning, and the Swain is winning. So the one strong point that they had, they kind of gave away by a misplayed dive.
That really seems like great decision-making coming from Newbee as well, because you did mention flanked by 2 winning lanes. Swain up in the top lane, he's naturally going to do well. We've seen that in this game so far. The winning lane down in the bottom lane, Sivir Bard, great call early on to pick up lots of experience and also dominate that lane. You did mention Caston, the only one that's losing. The fact that Newbee identify this and try to salvage that seems like how they're getting back into this game almost.
Yeah, but like IG should know that. Like IG right now, like you either pick Maokai kill jungle and you say he's going to provide the CC, I'm going to provide the damage, which Rek'Sai does not. Or you sack the lane and you play towards the bottom half of your map. I mean, they knew that Victor was going to be able to get ahead naturally. So what you should be trying to do is draw the Kindred into another lane, like take him bottom lane, make bottom 3v3, you know, juggle around there, because Victor just wins the 1v1. Kid doesn't need to be there. Kid shouldn't be trying to counter-gank this lane. He should be sitting in a side lane, trying to snowball another win condition, because you need a winning half of the map. And, you know, neither team's had it, but all of a sudden, now that Swift is able to take over that mid lane, it looks like the whole of the map is just belonging to the Newbee lineup.
So unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, we still have a little bit of technical difficulties between these two teams. Hopefully, we can resolve them and get back onto the roof for the final game tonight as soon as possible. But for now, let's take a look at what this game is going to pan out for the rest of this match, because, you know, mid lane was going great for IG. Top lane, bottom lane, going really well for Newbee. How's the rest of the game going to pan out? What are we looking at for these two teams?
Yeah, it's really interesting right now because, you know, Dragon's been taken away, so there's another about 4.5 minute lull that's going to happen in this game where they're just going to continue to scale up. And right now, with Swain, until it gets to about 3 items, and it gets equalized by Maokai a little bit, I think that he's just going to be so much more efficient. So, yeah, I'm expecting this game to just... They're going to continue to play side lanes, absorb as much farm as they can, keep the AD carries and the supports mid lane, invade when they can with Swift. But until it gets towards that 3rd dragon and then into the Baron area, Newbee are content to scale. This is a team that, when I see them on paper, I see Dade and Pekko, or Happy, that just stick out like sore thumbs. If any 2 players in the history of League of Legends want a game to go to 35-minute 5v5 every single time, it's them. And they're on the same team. So you can generally guarantee that they're going to pick compositions that take off in the 5v5 team fight, and this is another one of them.
It certainly is. And so far, it looks like Newbee are content with waiting for that and, you know, picking up their advantage where they can to try and get towards that 5v5 team comp. One thing that really scares me for the side of Invictus game is because if I look at their team comp, their damage sources really come from Victor, Lucian, where if I look at Newbee, everybody in their team does damage. Even Bard. Is this going to be something we look into going to the rest of the game?
Yeah, it certainly should be, because especially the fact that Victor got ahead, but then it got equalized a little bit because he got camped. As now we have a game coming into the top side of the map.
V and Swift going to try and put some work down onto Tai. Pops his ultimate. He's trying to run away, but look at this. V doesn't care about turrets or anything. He's got his birds trying to heal him up as much as possible. Swift now, he's going to get stuck underneath them. Here comes the Bard ultimate to stop the turret from taking them down. And now it's going to be back up. But Kid, he's taking the front of the damage. Swift pops his Lamb and Smite to try and stay alive. Kid, though, really, really low cover. Going to try and help him out, but it's not going to be enough. They take him down. 2 kills for Newbee.
I just want to point out that V was...
Run away, Tabe trying to be aggressive, but just gets taken down. Not worth it for his team. Rookie, though, able to shut down Happy. They're going to be able to take down the Bard as well. Flash over the wall coming from Rookie. Picks up the double kill, returning 2 for his team.
Yeah, so 2 for 3 in the end because Rookie comes up absolutely clutch. Tabe flashed forward, ignited, and got taken out himself. Swain just dove a turret for a good 30 seconds and came out with full health. Swain, once he hits level 11, actually positively generates health off turret dives. I don't know if you just witnessed that. As long as there is a champion there, doesn't even need to be a creep wave. So interesting champion, as I said. But that was a good turnaround from Rookie. Goes in, picks up 2 kills. Will save the turret as well. That could have been a huge moment in this game, but the mid laner of IG just comes up clutch.
It's almost like V, you know, he dives to Tai. It's like, cool, he could regenerate health off 1 champ. But Kid comes, he's like, great, now I can regenerate off 2. It doesn't matter.
And it was a really nice Bard ultimate as well to stop the damage, but allow the champions to keep hitting onto Kid. So really nicely played from Newbee there. It's one thing that we talk about a lot. They do have a great ability to dive turrets.
And they're still about 4,000 gold ahead of Invictus Gaming at the moment. 9-6 in terms of kills. They've got 1 turret to none and 2 dragons. So the map is wide open for Newbee. Once they start taking down these objectives, it's going to be really difficult for IG.
Yeah, it certainly is. And the thing is that they're 5,000 gold up right now, Newbee, and they haven't even started to take those turrets yet. So top turret is about to fall down. Mid lane also relatively low. So if they are able to turn on, take over these objectives, will be hard to come back into as Zatai, one more time.
Swift going to jump aggressively forward, does get the slowdown. Bard's going to look to try and get the stun as well. Zatai, though, just takes so much damage from this Kindred and will get taken down one more time. In the bottom lane, though, Dade getting jumped on by both Kid and Rookie. Looking for more. He's trying to rift walk as fast as possible away from them. Not going to be enough. They're going to be able to lock him down there. Kid tanks the turret up. They pick up a return kill, but they do lose the inner turret, the outer turret up in the top lane.
Yeah, certainly do. And do they lose even more than that? Because they're not going to be able to trade the bottom lane turret. And top lane now a little bit under fire, as is mid lane being completely zoned away there has Tabe. So they grab the 2-for-1, and now Rain's in trouble.
He's going to get stunned up here, has to flash away. Bard not going to connect with the stun. Now it's going to be more that takes a lot of damage from that culling. They're going to go aggressively forward. Kid is here now, looking to try and do something, but Swift puts a lot of damage down onto this Rek'Sai, forces him away, and stops IG from getting an engage onto Newbee.
Yeah, and meanwhile, middle lane, they're still just chipping down here. Happy able to get probably a quarter of the turret damage done. So they've started to prioritize the gold objectives on the map, and this is our criticism of them in Game 2 when they were getting their picks. When they won that one team fight, they weren't able to translate it to anything much. This time around, even though Dade gets caught out, the rest of the Newbee team turn it on.
Now they find 3 turrets by doing that, which means they have 6,000 gold in the lead just 25 minutes into this game. Inferno Drake will be coming online in about 19 seconds, which gives Newbee another chance to try and teamfight IG and also pick up another dragon to scale on into this late game. Something we've said time and time again, they're very happy and very content with just sitting there and scaling with IG if they choose to.
Yeah, they certainly are. And, we mentioned the 3-item spike of Swain. Well, he's got it a full item ahead of Zatai, as well as upgraded boots. That is Zhonya's and Swifty's finished up. And he's a monster. Teleport coming in. Swain has his available as well. Do you really want to fight this?
They're looking to try and actually fight for it. Moore's going to be locked down here. Bard actually gets sniped out by Rookie. It's a 4 and 5 to start this one off. Here comes Swain, no Dade, trying to jump in towards the back lines. Via's there, pops the Zonias. The birds are doing a lot of damage in this back line, but is it going to be enough? They're looking to try and take them down.
They're going to win it.
He's going to find 1. He finds Lucian as well. 2 kills for Swift. He eventually gets taken down. But like you said, IG looking strong in this fight. Dade is trying to get a snipe off into the back lines, but eventually it's just a 2-for-3 trade, and they're still chasing on to Dade.
Yeah, they're going to be able to catch him because they've got the Karma as well as a Rylai's Crystal Scepter. Dade looking to maybe take out Kid, but isn't even going to get him there. And that's a 4-for-2, all because Moore got caught off one more time. No flash, no ignite, no ultimate. The Bard gets taken down. We'll give over the first Drake. Happy still picks up the turret for himself, but that's not good play out of Newbee, especially when they had a 6,000 gold lead.
And this is the same thing we saw for Moore in game number 2, just dying right at the start of the team fight, giving IG a way to fight Newbee 4-on-5.
Let's take another look at it. So he comes in on the back end here, and he just gets Twisted Advanced on and just blown up, gets no spells off, and it's not even an ultimate that kills him. And still, it looks good because there's so much AoE damage, but a little bit of a missed time. If this is where Dade has already gone in, and is putting down all that AoE damage, then they win the team fight. Instead, Dade goes one at a time, and they're not able to get the work done. Tries to clean up Tabe here on the back end, but once again, just not with any cohesion with the rest of his team. So Newbee finally looking a bit shaky, and Rookie comes up clutch.
Certainly did, and just like that, IG able to pull back the scoreboard 12-11, but they're still 5,000 gold behind Newbee at the moment. If Newbee can find a fight where Moore doesn't get picked off right away, it will be significantly advantageous for them.
Yeah, it's just so much easier if you actually fight as a 5v5, not a 4v5. Happy gets chunked out there. Nice siege coming through from 4 members of IG, able to get it back within a 5,000 gold lead.
They've got the Infernal Drake as well, which means...
Look at Rookie's damage dealt. And he's going to be able to pick up V here.
and looking to try and take him
Teleport
down.
is available, but no ward inside.
V's not going to be able to heal up enough here, but Lancer Spike keeps him alive a little bit longer. To Ty, still trying to chase him down.
Got Zonya's.
Zonya's going to be able to keep him alive. Here's
Great
the Bard
Bard
ultimate. Teleport's coming in as well. Cassidon's here finally, but V still goes out first. Kid down, the next one to 4. It's going to be Silver that picks up 2. They're looking for Rain. They take him down as well. Swift picks up that kill.
Here goes
Magical
Cassidon.
Journey does get the slow down onto Rookie. Boomerang Blades come out as well. Bardo picks up that kill. And finally, a Newbie, they find the team fight they were looking for.
And look at what a Bard ultimate does. Gets it on the back end of 4 people. Sure, the Swain goes down, but all of a sudden, Sivir and Cassidon are lighting up your entire team. Swift also able to come up huge. And they're not done yet. Looking towards the Baron at only 28 minutes into the game.
This is massive for the side of Newbie here. They pick up a great team fight, and they're going to get the major objective and another tower. They were already picking up towers when they were losing fights here. Picking up a tower and a Baron when they win. This is not looking good for IG, despite their great team fight earlier.
Yeah, it certainly isn't, and really too much of it's on Rookie. Have a look at the damage that actually came out of Swift there. Far out.
3 games in a row, he's always topping this damage graph.
And if there was any question of why the off-season interactions went the way they did, I think that Swift is proving time and time again that he is a world-class 80 carry. 80 carry. He's playing Kindred. World-class jungler. I think that it's really interesting as well to talk about the differences between Swift and Spirit. They were compared a lot in Korea, actually. Dade, of course, played with Spirit, never played with Swift, but seems to be meshing quite well with his jungler in the first couple of games. And Newbee looking that they could be, once again, that team that challenges for the top 1 or 2 spots within the LPL.
You know, and they haven't changed much of their playstyle either. They're still the team that want to fight you 5-on-5 whenever they can. They're still the team that like to scale. Still the team that can fight you from behind too. Dade's just fitting into this team quite nicely, and Swift is still a huge backbone for them. You see he's 9-2-4 right now. 3 games with one of the most damage dealt for his line, most damage dealt for his team. Newbie, they're just dominating this game number 3 against IG. They're controlling the map. They're over 10,000 gold ahead of IG as well at the moment.
Dade's build's a little bit interesting. Goes for a late Seraphs. Sorry, Archangel's not upgraded just yet. That'll take a while. I think that he's only just been gone towards that one.
Better late than never.
I think... All right, so... I'm not saying this is what happened, but I've done it a couple of times as well, where I've gone, all right, cool. I'm going towards Void Staff. I'm going to pick up my needlessly large rod, and then I'll get the other component. And then I click on needlessly large rod, and I'm like, what the heck? And I'm like, oh, Zonya's Hourglass builds out of Fiendish Codex now. It doesn't build out a needlessly large rod. And then I'm like, well, what am I going to build with this needlessly large rod? I can't go Death Cap. So then I have to get something stupid like a Looted Echo.
Well, in this case, Archangel Staff.
Yeah, at 30 minutes into the game.
Well, who knows? Dade, might know something we don't.
Maybe. Just wants that maximum mana to be able to hop around team fights.
But for now, the ball is still in Newbee's court. They are so far ahead of IG at this point in time. 16 kills to 12, it looks kind of even here, but the structures just really tell the story. 6-1 on towers at the moment. They've got a Baron, they've got 2 Dragons to 1 as well.
Not only that, the CS and where the gold is actually located, because Swift is just a one-man army right now.
And he's showing that right now as he dives straight in towards the base. Dade eventually backs him up, and he already did most of the work on his own here. They're not afraid to just sit in between these 2 turrets inside of Invictus Gaming's base. There's pretty much nothing IG can do.
Yeah, there certainly isn't. In fact, they go aggressive onto Rookie.
Try to get some damage down. Rookie's able to just get out of there immediately. Kid now taking a lot of damage. Not going to get slowed down by the Cassidon, but they will be able to take down an inhibitor for it.
Once again, just rotating around. They get one of the inhibitors. Now they're going to look to take the bottom. Walk the minion line in.
Slowly with the Baron up minions. Here comes Rek'Sai trying to get towards this fight as soon as possible. Actually looking for a flank, it seems. They're just going to back off here. Swift now going to challenge Kid. He wants a piece of him. Jumps back over the wall. Gets lots of damage down towards this Rek'Sai. Still jumping in towards him.
They got Rookie.
Look at this. Rookie. He's locked down. There's the Zodius. There's the snare coming in from V. He's going to take up so many members. The birds are swarming everybody on the side of Invictus Gaming. And Newbee just clinically aced them in a team fight. That's going to be game to them.
Yeah, it certainly is. Newbee will pick up this series. 32 minutes. This was a hard-fought one, but in the end, they are able to pull it together. More with a couple of great Bard ultimates on the back end of it as well. But IG will fall.
And the turrets are going to get taken down. Lambs and Spite not going to be able to keep structures alive, but they're working on the Nexus. And Newbee, they pick up the win in the best of 3 series against Invictus Gaming.
And you can see Dade having a couple of words with his jungler right now. He knows that he had a rough couple of laning phases, but Newbee in typical fashion, able to claw it back towards the latter stages of the game. And V absolutely styles on Zatai in a couple of games, and the bottom lane still as solid as ever.
And you know what? That was just Newbee changing the way they played, coming to game number 3. IG, 3 games in a row, trying to pick every single game. They got it game 1 and 2, but game 3, Newbee was just like, no, we're not letting you pick us off anymore. We're going to be picking you off and taking the objectives as early as possible. And snowball their way to a clean, almost clinical victory in game number 3.
Yeah, they certainly did. There were some rough moments. I mean, top lane where Rookie turns around the team fight, around the Dragon Pit where Rookie came up massive one more time. But when they had more available and willing to use that ultimate, it looked like Newbee would never lose a 5v5.
Certainly did. And when you're 4,000 gold ahead as Newbee, formerly Gu, that's just recipe for success for them, because they're used to finding you from behind. Giving them a gold lead and finding them one ahead is just almost impossible in IG. They did it once. They just weren't able to do it after that one team fight.
People tell me this all the time, you know, Newbee, they want a team fight. They're happy to fight from behind. I don't think anyone's happy to fight from behind. They just want a team fight, and then they're like, oh, crap, we fell behind. Well, how do we get ahead? We team fight. So, yeah, I think that, like, the moral of this story is that Newbee now seem like, with V, especially if he gets to counterpick, can bully around top lane. So what can they do around Dade? Because he is willing to pick these scaling mages, and the good news is he's not getting, I guess, rattled when he's losing. Because 2 of those games, he was down by like 30 CS. It was like 60 to 30. And he was able to battle his way back into the game and come up big in the latter stage of the game. And Swift just seems to always have his mid laner's back. So I'm really interested to see how this dynamic evolves. Everyone used to talk about Doinvi and Swift. Dade and Swift looks pretty promising so far.
You know what, during this entire series, we talked a lot about the top side of the map from both these teams. We went from Swift, you know, up to V. We even talked about the mid lane as well. One thing I really want to point out for game number 3 is Moore's impact when he played Bard here, because game 2, picked out before team fights, team lost almost every single fight. Game 3, got picked out before a team fight, IG picked it up, but when he was alive, he changed the tides of so many of those fights.
Yeah, and you know, his Bard's good. I think he even had an MVP performance on Bard. Yeah, I'm going to say that against EDG Game 2, he got MVP for his Bard. So I think that is something that you do have to point out. The other thing, however, is he just gets caught at stupid times. Like, absolutely outrageous times. So he had a better Game 3, but still not the kind of League of Legends we want to see.
Well, let's dive into the results for today. EDG against Snake. They were able to pick up a nice 2-0 victory against Snake, who was struggling to try and find form in the first week of Summer Split so far.
Yeah, moving on to Game 2, it was going to be Game Talons absolutely crushing Saint. I mean, that was a comprehensive victory.
It certainly was. The new, previously EPA lineup, now Game Talons looking strong in week number 1. Saint, disappointing performance in their first match in the LPL. Speaking of disappointing performance, Invictus Gaming, they picked up a loss here against Newbee, who picked up a win 3-2 in a hard-fought best of 3.
Yeah, it certainly was. So 2-1, I'm going to say, in the best of 3, not 3-2. It's very hard to go that scoreline, but I think IG will really be kicking themselves over that because it definitely was a winnable set.
And take a look at the standings for now for Group A. Edward Gaming, Game and Talent are sitting at the top of the table with 2 points each. Newbee just behind them with a win and a loss. Invictus Gaming, Saint and Snake unfortunately sitting at the bottom with two losses for Snake and 1 for the other 2.
Yeah, so unable to pick up the wins for IG, Saint and Snake. EDG, however, looking dominant at the start of this split.
They certainly have been, and you know what, they showed that in their games previously and also their games against Snake as well. But let's take a look at tomorrow's matchup where Group B will have their chance to shine as LGD Gaming takes on IMA. RNG will take on Vici as well, and Team WE will be taking on Oh My God in the final match of that 3-game matchup.
Yeah, you know, this is going to be a hard day for a couple of teams. I mean, LGD, so many changes in their lineup. Apollo now in, Wayless gone. Going up against IMA, who looked impressive. And, you know, when you look at Team WE also, that team is... They're something to watch right now. Sure, they weren't able to beat RNG out in their first set. RNG were able to close them, but I think that WE is just going to get better as time goes on because they're such a young lineup and they play that 5v5 style League of Legends so incredibly well.
They're definitely the A-tier team in that group. But one team that you always have to look out for is RNG. You know, they went to MSI. They had a fantastic performance in the group stage. Unfortunately, we're not able to take down SKT during the semi-finals, but they've been looking strong. Now they've picked up Uzi as their AD carry. They're looking like the top dogs for Group B. But before we dive into that, let's take a look at the MVP very shortly for this game. But yeah, RNG looking strong.
Yeah, they certainly are. I think that, you know, any team that comes first in groups at MSI and then outright upgrades their AD carry is going to be impressive. But there's your MVP of last game. It is going to be Swift.
Yep, a little bit of lag on my part as the host here, but it is going to be Swift that picks up the MVP here. I think pretty well deserved on him. He's 9-2 and 70. Did so much damage in that game, and it was just huge in the entire series.
Yeah, he certainly was. And as I said, it was kind of his attention to the mid lane that was able to pull Dade back in. Because you see in that straight up 1v1, he would have died. But Swift able to come up huge, save, get the return kill for himself, and live to tell the tale, most importantly, not trading 2 for 1 at any stage. And I really think that has to go towards Kid, because you're allowing that 2v2 to go down. If you're ganking bottom lane, Swift all of a sudden has to be down there. And Rookie can just win the 1v1. I mean, Dade was getting crushed. Like, that was a comprehensive beating. And he also had a kill summoner in the Ignite. Really a little bit of miscommunication between Invictus Gaming, because if they had just isolated mid lane, they probably would have gone a lot further into winning that game.
Certainly might have. And, you know, we even thought that when you traded 1 for 1 in that mid lane time and time again, 1 kill going over to Victor, 1 over to Swift, we both were thinking, yep, that's fine for Victor. Victor's more than happy to take that, but it was Swift that was able to use those kills to his advantage to pick up the win in that match.
Well, he translated it to other parts of the map, right? He got himself a dragon. He was able to get down into the bottom lane, got the gank onto standalone Rain there, and then they picked up the turret. Then he translates it into a top lane for a double kill in the turret. I just think that, you know, when you give kills to the jungle, you have to hold him down, and they weren't able to do that. Swift came up huge.
So it was a fantastic victory for Newbee there in the final game of tonight. But that's all from us here today. On behalf of all the shoutcasters, myself, Spawn, Atlas, and Frostgreen, and production crew, thank you guys for watching and have a good night.